welcome to Spoiler Alert on Taskforce Geek. We are going to be talking about Loki episode 2. We would have gone yesterday, but Beth had some air conditioner issues.
And if you're keeping track of what electricity is like here in Texas, you can understand why that's a problem.
Why is electricity always a
Oh my gosh.
topic in Texas? That is insane. Texas is not a small, undeveloped state. Shouldn't electricity be worked out by now?
I can solve it in 5 words. Texas.
Beth has also upgraded her deal there. If you're paying attention, for people who are playing the home game, Beth's got a new computer and a new washer and a new air conditioner.
The new washers are ordered. The air conditioner is fixed with a lifetime capacitor in it. Go for it, geckos, because guess what? It's not going to cost me anything to fix it anymore.
There you go. There you go. That's all the good stuff. So look, if you haven't seen Loki episode 2, then my advice is to either, join us and enjoy the, having everything spoiled for you, or get the heck off here and go watch it, and then, then you can come back and watch this thing later. It will be on Facebook. I might as well put those things up there. We are broadcasting live right now from Facebook, my account, which is that right there, and then on YouTube, just like on our regular Tuesday show, and also on Twitch. We're broadcasting on our regular stuff there. And again, we're going to be talking frankly. We're going right off the bat. I'm warning you. We're going to be talking frankly about what happened in Loki. We're going right straight to the thing here in just a second. But first, what I want to do is say, hey, if you haven't checked out our new logo, which is in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we have put that on T-shirts and mugs and, glasses and dresses and every other silly thing you can think of. It's over there, and then we're going to be there it is. We're going to be adding a Spicy King T-shirt soon as I have some time to put that up there. And I really desperately want a variant T-shirt. I want a Task Force Geek variant T-shirt for those who are watching Loki, so that we can be cool.
I need one of those.
I mean, seriously.
I need one of those.
You know that Disney and Marvel's not going to cover you. They're not going to make something cool so that you can wear something like that. So we're going to. But anyway, check out our deal there. It's at taskforce-geek.creator.spring.com. There you go.
Hey, and for those of you that like to drink coffee, you can get a coffee mug with the Task Force Geek logo on it.
You sure can. And if anyone out there has an idea of, maybe something that they'd like to see, like a phrase that we say or something we do, please tell us about it. Okay, so Loki episode 2. This is your last warning. We found out for those people who are aggrieved that Loki was listed as gender fluid. Well, guess what? The variant Loki is Lady Loki. So
whoop, whoop.
It's all over. It's all over now.
Yeah, it is.
It's the only thing that's left is the crying.
Sorry, folks. He's gender fluid. He can go any direction he wants, including horse.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And if you
magical creatures that we're talking about,
and if you recall, they show all the different variants that they've caught, and my favorite, I have to say, is soccer player Loki.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yes. I think he may have. I thought he was a soccer player too. I think he may have been in the. He was a cyclist.
Was it a cyclist?
I think he was a cyclist.
I thought it was a rugby player.
It could have been rugby. Either way, it was some sort of sports ball, as one of my friends calls them. A sports ball player.
Right. So around the end of the first episode, we find out that it is what I'm calling Lady Loki, but other people may decide to call it something else. I don't know. And we can talk about that. But Beth, what do you think about the big reveal of who the we'll call her evil variant was?
She was not who I was expecting, and that made me super happy. Super happy. Because
it was a surprise.
most of the variants of Loki that have been female in the comic books and in the stories, even in the Norse legends, she is a piece of work. She is not nice. She is going to cause our Mobius and Loki all sorts of problems. And I'm going to be honest, I think him jumping through the door after her was not a good idea.
Maybe not.
He's going to have his hands full, especially since he's jumped through that door without his traditional weapons and everything, and he's going in there with only his magic, and hopefully that's enough to keep him from getting his butt, hung out to dry.
I watched a video which I thought was very interesting, which did a very short, to the point interview with Owen Wilson and with Tom Hiddleston, and they were specifically talking about how they felt their characters were reacting in that moment where he walks through the door. And I thought this is pretty amazing that we can ask both of those actors about, what was in their mind. They've got the script and they know their characters better than anyone. And I think that Owen Wilson was like, my character Mobius was kind of like this is the trickster, obviously he's going to do this sort of thing, but he also felt like he felt hurt and betrayed because he trusted him.
Yep.
And he also felt stupid. he said Mobius would feel stupid for allowing this thing to happen. He was warned about this, and the judge told him that he likes broken people.
They tried to tell him. Yeah.
Told him, you kind of like to take people under your wings and stuff. And so, which is why I like that character, by the way. I'm loving that character more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hiddleston said that at the end that his thing was that he, on one hand, he felt like Loki knew that he should stay. He knew he should stay.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew that he was betraying Mobius. He knew that too,
Mm-hmm.
that he would get him in trouble and, would betray the trust that he had. But he also knew, being Loki and being the trickster,
yep,
he had to know what was on the other side of that door.
Right.
That was the compelling thing. The thing is, though, I think that also points to the fact that, Loki's loyalties may lie. He may be torn. He's torn at this point in the story, which I think shows, the character development. I think it's very interesting.
I think he's got some sympathy for Mobius. I mean, it was obvious the look he had on his face before he went there. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Steve, I missed you on Tuesday night. I told Walt. I said, "Where the heck is Steve?"
But I think Loki likes Mobius because Mobius is basically infatuated with Loki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's,
he's a bit of a fan.
Yeah, and that's the type of attention Loki craves.
He's also not a rube.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he talked about how the people of Asgard are all, easily duped.
Right.
And he's tried to dupe Mobius, and Mobius is like, my ears are sharp too.
Right.
And so, he called him out on his BS. So I think that Loki respects him.
Yeah.
And I think that he said Mobius said straight out, you can pick which one you want. Either I see you as a young, kind of helpless boy,
a young scared boy.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's one thing, or I'm going to tell you whatever it is to get this person. I think both of those are true.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
That Loki, he said, I don't need your sympathy, but yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Loki desperately needs the sympathy.
He does.
His whole character is about wanting the love and acceptance of his father and the love and acceptance of his brother, you know, and he wants to run the show.
Right.
Because he wants the love and acceptance of the people.
Right. Exactly.
He wants the recognition. He wants the acknowledgement.
He wants the acknowledgement, and he likes the fact that Mobius acknowledges him.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He does, and yeah, he likes that. He loves that, basically.
And it's interesting how they're also playing off of Loki's deep desire to be number one.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But except that he's against someone who also thinks that they're number one.
Right.
That's kind of a nice little
Right.
dichotomy there.
Yeah.
So, what does anyone know about Lady Loki from the comics, and how do you think that that's going to play into this series?
I don't know much. I do know that when Asgard came back and was hovering over Oklahoma for a time,
Mm-hmm.
I know Loki came back as Lady Loki.
Yep.
And
It does have an Oklahoma connection.
it does have an Oklahoma connection. So,
But there's
and
also there's a caveat to that as well. It's also that character in the comics is also wrapped up in Enchantress.
right,
And
Yeah.
Enchantress
Yeah.
is the actress or the actor who is in the series is listed as Sylvie, and Sylvie is the name of Enchantress. So they may be kind of rolling both of those characters into one thing. I can say that when Loki called her Loki, she bristled at that. She did
not
Yeah.
like that. No,
Right.
not like
no,
being
Right.
called Loki.
No.
So
Right.
she may, they may have this character out there, and don't be surprised if she's going to be around for a while. She may prefer to be called Enchantress.
She
Yeah.
could be the catalyst as well that takes Loki from being that midline anti-hero to actually being the hero
of the
She
story.
could be- yeah,
Right.
For
she
sure.
could actually be that catalyst where
For sure.
we get a bit of a redemption arc with Loki.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is the Enchantress and not a Loki variant at all.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Agreed.
you know,
By the way, Walt, it's Tour de Force Loki. Tour de France Loki.
Tour de France.
Tour de France.
Tour
Okay,
de France Loki.
even better because I'm a Tour de France fan.
There you go.
I'm all into cycling and all that stuff. So that's even better.
Yeah.
It's even better.
So anyway, we may be talking about Enchantress, and because, I guess let's go to the next thing. What is Lady Loki's plan? What I call Lady Loki. What's the plan here? Do you have any thoughts about what happened around the end with the time bombs? I don't know what do you call them?
There was I literally paused the TV and tried to count them.
Yeah, same
Okay.
here.
Did you?
Yeah, there was over 20.
Yeah,
I lost count at 20.
Okay.
yeah,
So she just dropped 20 reset charges by the looks of it through 20 different doors. Who knows where they went?
Someone went as far, because there's a list of the places and times that they went to, and the places and times they went to are all over the universe. It's not just one time or anything.
right. And they're not just on Earth.
Yeah.
It's not just
yeah.
on Earth. It's different times and it's different places. Throughout
The question
Marvel
is,
universe.
who is she trying to get rid of? Is she trying to get rid of the rest of the Loki variants? Is she trying to get rid of the rest of the Asgardians? Is
Yeah.
she trying to get rid of superheroes? I mean, the question becomes, who is she going after? Why is
Right.
she going after? I don't think she's trying to get rid of the other Lokis. Simply because of the comment that she made, it's not about
It's not
you.
about you.
Yeah, right.
So I'm wondering,
And
what is her deeper motive?
I think, and this is just me off the top of my head right now. I'm not setting any theories or anything, but I think she's trying to get back at the TVA for something. So
Yeah, that could be it too. Yeah.
whatever it is that she's trying to get back at the TVA, and then going with the whole MCU thing that it's all connected. And I'm going to throw this out there for this because we all know that King the Conqueror is coming down the
Mhm.
line, and
Mm-hmm.
they've been hinting at him throughout in every episode so far. They've been hinting at King the Conqueror.
She could be trying to get rid of King the
Hard.
Conqueror.
Exactly. And to be honest, the TVA is blaming is blaming Loki for the variant or whatever for what's going on. I'm putting the blame on Tony Stark, and that's just me. That's just me.
No, we need to blame Tony because Tony was the one that let Loki get his hands on the Tesseract and disappear in the first place and start this whole mess.
Because when you think about it, Tony Stark forgot that he made the Incredible Hulk take the stairs. So
you want to go one step further, blame Steve Rogers. Because it was Steve that went to Tony and talked Tony into doing the whole let's go back in time and fix the timeline to get rid of Thanos.
No, I'm not gonna blame
You're not
Steve
going to blame Cap, okay?
No, because the plan was to Tony Stark was supposed to walk out with the Tesseract, and he should have known better not to walk in front of that door at that time because the Hulk was going to kick it down. Anyway, but that's a tangent. But for some reason, some why, I got a feeling that Lady Loki's plan has something to do with that. That's just me off the top of my head.
I've got a few thoughts on the plan here. One thing that someone caught on one of these additional videos is there was another oil field. Remember in the last episode, there was, once again in Oklahoma, there was an oil field that they met that variant on. And then apparently there was another place where there was that the variant went to an oil field, a different oil field at a different time. Because you got two oil fields, I think that there is a possibility that this is a climate change deal where Lady Loki is maybe concerned about climate change and is trying to, upset the apple cart on that. That's a possibility. There's another possibility that that she's trying to create chaos, either for the ultimate goal of breaking the timeline, so that they don't have a sacred timeline anymore. You're going to go back to the multiverse, because there's only you have 20. You counted them. There were 20 different bombs. If you have 20 different bombs, one of them's going to hit that red line, and then you've got a skewed timeline. And then if another one hits, then you get another skewed timeline. So it's possible that the end goal there is just simply that she wants to fracture the timeline again,
the multiverse,
and create multiverse, because perhaps she lost someone in the multiverse that no longer exists, or she's from a timeline or a multiverse that no longer exists and she wants to go back there, or she doesn't like the meddling of the TVA, or whatever it is.
I would say that.
She's trying to I'm going with she doesn't like the meddling.
Fracture the multiverse to return things to the way they were before the big war or whatever. And I mean, look, folks, we know that the Doctor Strange movie is called Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
We're seeing the seeds of the Multiverse of Madness right here. This may actually be what causes all of this. Before Doctor Strange starts, they may be showing scenes from this series.
Yep.
I mean, it's very possible that either this is it, or whatever happens here leads to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And we also know that Spider-Man's going to be all over that. We're going to get Andrew Garfield back again. We're going to get
Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm. We're going to get all of the different iterations of old villains and stuff back in the Spider-Man universe, and who knows what else.
I wonder if the guy from the 70s is still alive.
Maybe. I haven't heard that guy in a long time.
You're walking in with his cane.
So that's my second theory on what it could be. My third theory is just, this is kind of like an old school, like Ocean's 11 plot. She creates all of this chaos in the multiverse that all the people of the TVA are rushing out the door. All at the same time, they're like, oh my God, we got to go take care of all this. And it's a swerve. She's getting everyone out of the TVA so she can go into the TVA and go find the timekeepers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, is Loki going to, Loki kind of wants
He wants to see the Timekeepers too.
He wants to see the Timekeepers so bad it's killing him.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
you know who
if
else?
He really wants to run the show.
You know who else
Yeah.
wants to see the Timekeepers? Mobius wants to see the Timekeepers.
He does.
Yes.
And he.
Yes.
Let me tell you, since we're on this subject, I'm going to say right now, the Timekeepers are not what we've been told. They have sold us and everyone who works in the TVA a bill of goods on the Timekeepers. I think we've got a Wizard of Oz situation. I don't think that there's 3 people there that are running the show like that. It's one person, or it's something is wrong. Something is wrong. No one in the TVA has seen these people.
We
I
know
think
Kang
that
the
they-
Conqueror's coming.
Right.
Okay,
Yes,
so
we
we know
do.
there's at least one
Yes, we do.
that
So
is still out there.
has Kang axed the other 2?
Right.
I don't know. Does the judge that's running the show,
Renslayer.
does she is she in on it, or
Well,
is she ignorant?
Well, she did mention that they were upset.
I think she
about
knows. She knows
Yeah, but
something's
that's one
going
of those
on.
things that you tell someone
I know.
to get them in line.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the boss is upset,
Yeah.
but it could just be her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she also, by the way, since you mentioned that, who is the other analyst that she's talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
She
I
said
thought
there's
that too.
another analyst. She's mentioned it, or he's mentioned it several times. He's jealous.
You're not
Yeah.
my only analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the other analyst? He doesn't know.
Is the other analyst Loki?
So who is it? Right. Is it Loki? Is it Lady Loki? Is it who is the other analyst? Who do we not know?
It would be an interesting twist if it was Lady Loki.
Yup.
Like the actual Lady Loki.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And because like you said, I got a feeling like this Lady Loki that we're dealing with is actually the Enchantress,
Enchantress.
and
yeah.
not Loki himself. So that's just me.
That would be right along with.
Marvel is really good at swerving us, which I totally enjoy. I really enjoy the swerves. Really enjoy it.
I
So
do too. And I mean, this is custom designed for the swerve. I mean, we know very little about this stuff. Everything that look, we've been set up just like the members of the TVA.
Yep.
They had a very long conversation about.
Thank you.
Very long conversation about how their origin of the TVA members is suspect,
right.
and that Mobius just kind of accepted. It's like
Mhm.
you're the son of Odin and a frost giant or whatever. I mean, that sounds absurd.
Yeah.
And the fact that the TVA created all of us, okay, that sounds absurd too. But you got to go with it.
You
Right.
gotta go with it. Yep.
Well, it's entirely possible that that's not true. That's not really. We've been set up.
We don't know enough
Let's
about the
set up here.
TVA yet.
No, we have not learned enough about the
We have
TVA
not
yet.
learned enough about the TVA yet.
And
No.
that also goes back to the whole conversation about there being order, and that whole
Mhm.
conversation talking
Mhm.
about that, and Loki saying that, well, if it's all order, then it's just boring. If it ends up being order, then what's the point?
What's the point? Yeah, exactly.
This is one of the wonderful conversations that you get into when you talk about time,
Right.
and that is free will versus predetermination.
Predetermination.
Right.
And that is, is everything laid out and we're just going through the motions? Or can you swerve things? Well, in this context, if you swerve things, you're a variant. You're a bad person.
Right.
You're not supposed to
That's
come up with
and
your own stuff.
and that's
bad.
free will when you think
That's
about
free
that.
will.
Yep.
That's absolutely
Yep.
free will. Loki said that. He said, so really the people who are in the TVA are the only people in the universe
That are free.
that have free will.
Right.
That's an important conversation. It's very interesting, I think.
It's very wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, as the dark
It
put it.
certainly is.
I had to listen to that conversation a few times just
Yeah,
to
I
let
did
it
too.
It's good
absorb.
stuff. And I knowing how the attention span is for people, I'm sure they're like, these are boring. Why are they not punching people?
This
You
is
know,
not a knock
some
'em down,
people are
punch 'em.
Some people want to act like 13-year-olds for the rest of their
Y'all
life.
wait for Hawkeye for that, okay? You want
Right,
people
right.
wait for Hawkeye.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we did get that in, although people bitched about it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier too, that there
Oh my
wasn't
God,
enough
there's-
punching. You
Or
know.
or there was too much violence. Oh, do God, please
Oh, yeah,
find a happy
you're
medium.
not gonna, you can't win. Let's see. Let's go to Easter eggs. Did anyone notice any Easter eggs? I've got 2 pages of notes that I can go through here, but I can throw it over to you guys first.
How many times did you watch it, Dirk?
2 times.
Okay.
I watched it one time for
I'm-
fun and kind of fell asleep around the end because I was tired and it was late.
And then one
then
time for notes.
And then I watched it one time for notes, and what I've learned is that I take notes a lot better when I do it on an old-fashioned notebook.
Yep.
Notebook, yeah.
I just get a notebook because I was doing it in Evernote, and Evernote is very convenient, but I take notes better on notebooks.
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
Which is something very important that I just learned. It's taken me a few decades to get here.
The name of the shopping mall that they were huddled up
that's a
in.
good one.
Roxcart. Yep.
Yeah, so that's about the only one that I picked up because that leads us to the Roxxon Corporation,
Yeah.
and that also that's a major player that we haven't really seen in Marvel. So other than that, I tried looking for Easter eggs. I'm sure that they were right there, and I didn't catch them. So the only little Easter eggs that I really enjoyed were the different variants of Loki that they had already caught. I don't know if you all noticed the Hulk Loki.
Yes.
That drew Loki's big, he saw that and his eyes were really big and wide. But other than that, I didn't really catch any, and I know they were there. And I haven't taken the time to surf the net to say, oh, these are the Easter eggs you missed. So,
Holding Out for a Hero is an Easter egg.
Yeah, that is. I forgot about the song.
It was originally off of the Footloose soundtrack, which, if you all remember, is Star-Lord's favorite album.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That one I caught. I was like, oh, come on, guys, really?
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that one was good too. Yeah. Right off the bat, that song comes up and I started laughing.
Oh, and the other thing, throwback to our conversation last week about whether or not this might turn into a prisoner type show, similar to the Prisoner of the 60s. Think about the jacket that Loki's wearing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With the word variant on the back,
Absolutely.
where instead of prisoner.
Really playing it. Absolutely, they're playing into that sort of where he's being labeled.
Oh, Mr. 80s.
He pops his collar.
God, the collar pop. It's like, oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
Once again, we get Kang in the office and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's I've actually mentioned some of the things that I was going to talk about already. There's another analyst out there somewhere. The snow globe is from San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means necessarily. That's very interesting.
And you have the Comic-Con in San Diego, so
right, true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times and places that was mentioned right around the end where there's 20 different locations and stuff. I think that there's probably a lot of clues in that if you want to go through those bit by bit and start figuring these things out. One of them, I think, was back during the time, and I might be wrong on this. I thought that one of them was right around the same time as Tony Stark went back to meet his father in Endgame,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of interesting. Maybe just a coincidence. I don't know. So anyway, what were you going to say?
Oh, when he's looking at the file and he discovers the Ragnarok and the destruction of Ragnarok, did anybody catch the Revengers tag on
Yes.
there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did.
That was one.
I did.
That
I
was
did.
one, definitely.
That, and then also the homage to Robert Downey Jr. First Iron Man, when he's showing off the Jericho missile, he opens his arms up and everything's exploding behind him. Loki does the same thing. Pompeii, he's just like,
that's right.
Pompeii's blowing up behind him.
Right.
He called the goats my horned. What is it?
My horned friends.
My horned friends. Yeah.
My horned friends.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
The whole Latin sequence was great. I'm a Latin major, in high school, so the whole Latin sequence had me just rolling.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And
that whole scene was like pretty. The whole setup for that about saying that the Loki variant was hiding out in apocalyptic events.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if everything's going to get destroyed, where would you put the variant? The variant wouldn't have any effect.
I have a sneaky suspicion at the end when we see all the guys running to go deal with the variant, and we're seeing the timeline starting to branch. Above the doors in the TVA, there is a scrolling log. And this last time I watched it, I happened to catch Jotunheim on there. And I didn't look to see what some of the other places were, but I'm wondering if that scrolling marquee is an Easter egg telling us all the places that those 20 bombs just got dropped. I just happened to think of that.
Someone picked apart those things, and it's literally all over. It's like everything that we've seen in Endgame and in all the other. I mean, it's like they mentioned the Nova Homeworld. They mentioned the place where they created Thor's new hammer. Oh wow! I mean, there's just so many. It's not all coming to me because I didn't write it down. But I mean, all the different little planets and stuff have all been mentioned on this thing. It's not just Earth that's being hit.
Yeah.
On this deal. The Earth obviously gets a lot of play. I thought it was funny that they swerved you a little bit by opening the show in what looks like medieval times, but it's actually
1985 Ren Fair.
It's a Ren Fair,
yeah,
where everyone's dressed up, and the girl says, "You guys are dressed wrong."
Right? Yeah, right. I thought that was funny.
Great. That was great.
That was a good moment there.
It was. That's kind of a unique setting. I gotta get some more coffee here. All right, so some of the things that I wanted to just mention that are not necessarily Easter eggs is I mentioned the soft spot for broken things, the timekeepers. I mean, I mentioned. I think we've been swerved on the timekeepers, and it's because it's multiple reasons. It's Mobius being concerned about the timekeepers. It's about us continuing to see these representation of these three lizard people, as they call them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's other things like Loki goes to the woman who is the receptionist or whatever.
The librarian.
Says, I would like to see. I'd like to see, stuff on the beginning of time. Well, you can't see that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see stuff on the formation of the TVA.
No.
That's classified. What about the end of time? No, that's classified. Everything's classified.
Yeah.
Except for this little folder.
This one little thing that's all about you, Betty.
Right.
There you go. That's all yours. Now you
I
set
really
that.
loved Owen Wilson's line. He says, "Here's a good trick for you. Pretend your life depends on it."
Right.
He's so listen, Owen Wilson is really good in this. I don't care if you like Owen Wilson or not. He is really I mean, I can't imagine anyone else being as good in this role as he is. He is really, really good as playing. I mean,
you know what his character reminds me of?
Who?
Fox Mulder.
A little bit, yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. He's a very interesting combination of kind of innocent in some ways. He's not worldly, despite the fact that he knows obviously a lot about the world, but he hasn't experienced anything. He's experienced nothing.
Right.
And also, clearly, he has a big heart. They said it outright that he has a soft spot for broken things. So I really like that about him. Owen Wilson plays that role really well. I mean, like like a Paul Rudd is kind of can play that sort of character too.
Mhm.
You know,
I liked the whole let me show you how this is going to work scene with the salad, and
Oh yeah.
your salad is Ragnarok.
He's destroying.
No,
He's like,
no,
Right,
your
right.
salad's not
Right,
Ragnarok.
right. Yeah, that was a good scene. The explanation was excellent too, though. By the way,
Yes, it was. So it doesn't matter what I do. And I'm
Right.
sitting there thinking to myself, nobody's going to want to eat that salad with that much salt and pepper
Right.
in it.
right. Either way, salad trash doesn't get
Yeah,
eaten.
yeah.
It's still
It's
trash. So
it's destroyed.
yeah, it's destroyed.
Once again, I love the '60s vibe. I mean, this we got to see like, a lot of the TVA this time and the records and all the stuff. They have the brown folders, all the
Right.
silly brown folders. No one
Those
uses brown
evil
folders
brown
like that
folders.
anymore.
Oh my gosh.
That whole thing, and including I know what I wanted to talk about. Miss Minutes.
Missed minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Minutes shows up in the elevator. There's a button for Miss Minutes. There's a button on the little controller that they have that controls the doors for Miss Minutes. There's like a Miss Minutes button. Okay.
Huh. I
And
missed
I
that.
didn't know. I did too.
And
Yeah.
then Loki asks her, he says, "Are you live or are you Memorex? Are you
Right.
actually
Yeah,
here
yeah.
or are you recording?" And she goes, "I'm a little bit of both." And then he starts swatting at her. Right.
Right.
And so she starts jumping around. Well, when she jumps around and lands on something, you hear her land.
Right.
Okay? So she is a physical
She's a physical.
presence. I suspect, let's just go into this. I suspect that there's more to Miss Minutes. I say Miss Manners. That's obviously what they're playing off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's more to Miss Minutes than we've been led to believe. I don't think she's just there to monitor and to answer questions. I think there may be a badass version of Miss Minutes
Agreed.
that is there, that is an AI or something that is there to take care of business. And if the next step is for them to go in the TVA and it's empty, like there's no one there besides people who, besides the file people, the file clerks or whatever, we may see the badass version of Miss Minutes. That's
Miss
Right.
Minutes could also be a manifestation of one of the
Timekeepers.
timekeepers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Her way, their way of
Or
keeping an eye on what's going on.
If it's a Wizard of Oz thing where there are no timekeepers, the timekeepers are not around anymore, Miss Minutes may be the person who actually is running the show, who's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
I
a
th- I-
prediction.
I thought it was interesting.
I like
You
that.
mentioned everybody being gone. The judge grabbed her little nightstick
Yeah.
as everything was going crazy and stepped out of the room. So
Yes, she did.
I think we're about to see her be a badass too.
Yeah.
Well, we know
Yeah.
from the comic that she is a badass.
Yeah.
And we also know that she has connections to another couple of, like romantic connections, to another couple of the big Marvel heroes. And I want to say Thor. Am I wrong on that, or do you know?
I'm not familiar with her.
She's kind of a big deal. She's kind of a big deal. She's a much bigger deal than you think. And she's also exactly the sort of person that could show up in some other movies.
Let's see
For
what
sure.
we can find out about Ravonna Renslayer.
I like it.
Let's do a quick Google.
You don't think that I'd stab someone in the back? And he goes like,
You've stabbed it 50
50
times.
times.
Right.
and
Right.
stuff. He says it's such a boring form of betrayal. And he's like, you've stabbed people for over 50 times. And
Right.
stuff. He's like, well, I will do it again.
Right. And then he's like, uh-huh.
Oh. Ouch.
Uh-oh. What
In
did we
the
find out?
comics- In the comics, Ravonna Renslayer was the daughter of King Caroleus, a ruler in the 40th century of Earth. She eventually met Kang the Conqueror and
40th.
became his lover.
Aha!
There we go.
Eureka!
She's knocking boots with Kang.
Eureka!
Yep,
So she has seen a timekeeper.
she has seen it. She's knocking boots with Kang. Come on,
Hey.
man.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Maxine.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you for joining us. So there's your connection right there, is that she's tied to Kane.
Yep.
So what happens
Which
to
also
her?
suggests maybe some ulterior motives again.
I'm thinking we've got ulterior motives.
I said she might swerve. Don't be surprised. You heard it here first.
Right now it says her status is still alive, so we'll see what happens there.
Mobius never met the timekeepers. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. That's an important note.
Yeah, he hasn't met the timekeepers.
I talked about Owen and Tom talking about their characters in that last moment. There's another analyst. Yep, I think that's most of the notes that I had. So does anyone have any other prediction? Where are they coming out? Where is Lady Loki and Loki? What's happening on the other side of that doorway?
I have no clue. We have no clue as to where that doorway went to, because he jumps through and they don't show him pop out on the other side. So
I would like to see it be Asgard. Sometime in Asgard's history, I think it would be interesting to see
some form of Asgard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a prediction. I think it's the TVA. I think they're going to show up in the TVA.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Because if it is the Ocean's 11 swerve where they create chaos on the timeline, they get all the guards out of there. I mean, if you're going to go to the TVA now, right now is the time. Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ironically enough, it may be Loki that prevents Lady Loki from doing whatever it is that she wants to do in the TVA. He may be responsible for protecting the TVA or the timekeepers or something like that. Then again, who knows? He has been wonderfully mercurial.
As many times as we have seen this particular Loki in the future go and help and become the hero,
right?
This is, again, let's remember, this is 2012 Loki. He is
right.
not there yet. So
he's not there yet.
He's redeemable, but he's
not there yet.
Now there are some things that he's witnessed, that he's learned about, that may speed up that process. But we're not sure yet.
And I think that's why, like Tom Hiddleston described, he was torn in that moment. Before he went out the door.
Yeah.
There was definitely some question about what he should do. He knew the ethical thing to do, and did the doorway.
And went through the doorway. But then again, him going through the doorway may be the ethical thing.
God of mischief. He's going to keep us guessing.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if he knows entirely.
Nah, probably not.
What he's going to do.
I mean,
Loki just wings it.
Yeah, it may turn out that him going through the door was the right thing for him to do, without question.
Yeah, like I said, if they are going to the TVA, it's entirely possible that, he may be the monkey in the wrench, as John McClane says.
The monkey in the wrench.
He may be the thing that stops whatever Lady Loki is trying to do.
Yeah.
Even though he says he wants to, he could be putting the charm on her by saying that he wants to rope her in and go take over the TVA. He may not be interested in that at all.
Yeah.
He may just be trying to rope her in.
He may have been saying that to charm her.
Right.
And to actually bring her to Mobius and Renslayer, here's, hail the conquering hero.
We don't know entirely what his motivations are.
Yeah.
And then again, here's the other thing. If I recall in the comics with Enchantress, because she just may be the Enchantress, she may be after Thor.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Because, Thor has spurned her, her advances throughout the years. And we may be finding out, finally, this is one of Thor's old lovers that he, said no to, and she could be exacting out her revenge.
Considering this is between Avengers and Thor 2, Dark World,
yeah,
he's not necessarily completely committed to Jane Foster.
Right.
So yeah, this could be a good, interesting spot to bring that up.
It's a wild pitch, but you never know.
It's a valid one.
It's a valid one. Yeah. It's a valid one. And I mean, and the other prediction, this is one that I read somewhere on the internet, which goes right along with what I was thinking from the beginning. We could be seeing the seeds of What If as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely leading towards that.
I heard that Marvel came out somewhere officially and said that wasn't Peggy Carter that came through the door over there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I haven't seen that, but I'll have to look that up.
But again, Marvel will lie to you.
Yes, they will. They will.
No, they don't lie. They misdirect.
Okay.
I mean,
okay, whatever you say.
I mean, in Infinity War, they sure as hell showed Hulk, standing, along with everyone else.
Yeah.
Hulk did not make an appearance in that.
He did not make it. He made an appearance, but it was short-lived.
Yes, it was.
Very short-lived,
yes, it was. So, I mean, and that, what's amazing about that is, they had to do special effects there. It cost them some money to swerve us that time. To put Hulk in that scene. Yeah. And, I love that. I love that Marvel's, purposely playing double agent on us.
the triple Fs keep us constantly hopping.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great that they did that, that they do that, because if anybody recalls Terminator Genesis, how they gave us the whole plot in a TV commercial, and you're like,
there is nothing.
My goodness, I don't need to see this movie.
More mad than to see a movie, see a scene from the third act of a movie in the damn trailer.
Yeah, right. No, there's no call for it.
Like the seminal moment,
the
moment of the film. Like, I'll give you a good example of that. Why did they show Aquaman in his classic but updated outfit? That when he appeared in the yellow and green, outfit. Why did they show that in the trailer? We should not have seen that. That the first time we saw that image should have been in the theater.
In the theater,
would have crapped their pants over that moment.
Yeah.
But they used it to sell the movie.
Yeah.
Shame on them.
Right. Exactly.
The most effective, in my opinion, I hope Hollywood's listening. I don't think they are. The most effective ad campaign for a movie that I've ever seen was for the first Deadpool movie, when they had Ryan Reynolds do all of these stupid stunts in the Deadpool outfit that had absolutely nothing to do with the movie whatsoever.
Right.
He did like a sex education ads. He did like a Halloween stunt where he showed up with a bunch of kids in his in his costume and then dressed like the X-Men and stuff. He was on talk shows and all kinds of stuff. He was a one-man marketing campaign.
Can we just clone him?
How can you not love Ryan Reynolds? But I mean,
some people don't.
That guy, I know. Well,
they have no taste then.
He sold that movie without spoiling anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they even went so far as to do things that they would show scenes from the movie with jokes that were not the jokes that were in the movie.
Yeah.
It was a different take. So the take that you saw in the trailers were, they
were like B-roll. They were B-roll takes. Yeah.
That and when you get to the movie, it's different. It's a different take. That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for not spoiling the movie for me, so that I go to the movie and I see everything for the first time. If I remember correctly, Endgame was pretty good about showing most of the stuff in the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, folks. I mean, I realize that you're trying to sell the movie, but with Black Widow, I'm so concerned that I've seen the whole movie.
Right.
Yeah, same here.
You know what?
Case.
You know what? I don't. I'm going to disagree with you on that because I want to know how.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think they haven't shown us everything. I think because some of the things that I've seen before, just in a different,
Context?
order. Yeah, different order and different context. So, and I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to see this movie. I'm tired of seeing this scene again and again and again. I'm ready to see this movie.
Yep.
So, because I think in this aspect, it's not the action sequences that are. I mean, they're showing us these action sequences, but they're not showing any context as to where these action sequences, what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think the deeper story is going to be a nice surprise when the movie does come out.
Right.
Hey, for the people that are watching us out there, do you have anything that we didn't catch or we haven't mentioned, or a question for the panel here?
If there is anybody watching us out
there are some.
Stephen, your mom for sure.
Yeah.
There are a few people that are watching us. They've been kind of in and out. I think people are checking on and stuff. And if you catch this later, then put your questions in the comments, and one of us will catch it. I promise you. Final thoughts on this? Any overall thoughts about how? I mean, we're a third of the way through this season.
Is it next Wednesday yet?
Right. Right. I think final thoughts is I like the fact right now that I don't know where this is going.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I'm glad
and
you mentioned that because I thought the same thing.
I don't know where this is going, and I like that because I'm excited to see the next episode. Actually, just like the previous two series, that we've had, Falcon and Winter Soldier, as well as WandaVision. It's like, okay, so where are we going with this? And usually it's about the third episode we start seeing where this plot is taking us. So it's usually about the third or fourth episode,
of the
the
narrative. So we should probably know,
right,
where it's going.
So
next week will be a pivotal episode.
Right, next week will be pivotal, and I think we'll hit the top of the top of the story, the episode after that, of course, duh, and then we'll all start seeing it come to a head. But like I said, I'm totally lost. I don't know where this is going. The only thing I know is that this is leading us into the Doctor Strange movie and the Spider-Man movie.
I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see. For me, it's going to be interesting to see how much this really affects not just what's happening with these characters.
Yeah.
But what happens to the entire Marvel universe? I mean, is it going to be like we open the Doctor Strange movie and they're going to be like, hey, you need to go watch the Loki series?
Right.
Get caught up on what's going on. I mean, there's a very real possibility that it's like, they're going to say, all this crazy stuff happened in the TVA and now we're going to go fix it. And we're really getting it right. We're getting that story right now. And if you're not watching it, you're going to be a little out of the
lost. I honestly think that, the first episode, Mobius makes the comment to Loki when he asks them, what about what the Avengers did? Actually, when he says that to Renslayer, as she's sitting up on the judge's bench, and she looks at him and she said that was supposed to happen.
Yes.
I think we are seeing the beginning of the raveling of the multiverse that Doctor Strange has to go and fix.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what Wanda did in WandaVision started, unraveling the multiverse. I think this is really
connected.
It could be connected, but I think this is actually the start of that unravel.
Right.
And I think things are going to spiral quickly out of control.
We know that Wanda is in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Right. And she's a Nexus.
She is a Nexus, yeah.
Yep.
She's a Nexus. So, and they mentioned Nexus, things being a time Nexus in the first episode. So, she's a constant in all the timelines. So this is going to be interesting.
Before we get too far away from it, you mentioned that she said that what the Avengers did was supposed to happen. It's important that they mention that, because obviously they were effing with the timeline. But if you don't do that, then Thanos screws everything up by, with the snap. But
Loki picking up the Tesseract in that timeline in 2012.
There you go.
That is the culminating.
That was, however, not approved.
No, that was the culminating action.
And so what happens as a direct result of Loki screwing up that thing? You have Tony going back to a different time
and getting a different Tesseract.
Back in the early 70s to get the Tesseract. It was who was it? It was Tony and who?
It was Tony
Captain America.
And Captain America. It was Tony and Steve. Yeah.
So are they maybe in trouble for that? Because that's variant activity.
But
the Avengers were supposed to do what they were doing, but they had to do some variant activity because they went back to a different time.
Right. Mm-hmm. But they also returned a Tesseract back to its original place.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's correcting that timeline.
Maybe.
That's what I said. Maybe, because when you think about what they said about, time, like if you go back in time, you traveling back in time is part of your future, so you can't change your past. So
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. We're just gonna go with that.
If you look at the computer screen that when Loki was watching the videos, as they say, or was taking the test, they have 3 different variations of, like, I think it was something like Thanos eats an apple in the future, and how does it affect time or whatever, and they give you the 3 different versions of time. So you have like the typical version of whatever it is that you do affects everything previously. And then you have like the Terminator type thing where like Kyle Reese becomes his
own dad.
He becomes the father of John Connor.
Of John Connor.
Yeah. Despite the fact that he's in the future and he has to come back to the past to like it's predetermined, Yeah. And then you have the multiverse theory, which is of course is what Marvel is doing, which is like, you have these divergent multiverses that happen, but you can't, once you go off on your divergent deal, you're no longer, you can't change what happened previously.
Right.
So anyway, it's interesting to see them playing with that as well. There's a lot of detail in this, folks. If you want to, for stupid stuff that's on screen literally for 1 second.
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort into these things for stupid things.
My brain hurt after watching the episode the first time.
There's some
stuff in there.
There's some stupid stuff going on, and I don't mean stupid as in stupid. I mean stupid as in cool.
Yeah.
If you're really paying attention to it, you're like, oh my God, it's so stupid how they put all this stuff in here.
Yeah.
But it all makes, if you really stop and think about it, it all makes sense. So, the whole theory of time in general that this whole thing brings up makes you stop and wonder, and your brain begins to hurt thinking about it. So,
can I just say how blessed we are to have WandaVision, which was spectacular, and you think, wow, this is really uncommon. I'm not sure exactly what, I didn't know really what to expect here, but that was really cool. It's kind of unexpected, and then you get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you're like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is like a 6-hour film here. I mean, and the character development and how much I fell in love with those characters, over the course of that, and they answer the question about Captain America, which it becomes like not just a silly thing within the Marvel universe, it becomes like a seminal moment in our universe.
Yeah.
Where they announce on Fox News, hey, there's a new Captain America and he's black. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And now you've got this thing, and they say that this Loki thing is getting even bigger ratings.
Yeah.
And yet they're all 3 very different. They're very different series, very different characters, very different plots, they're not. Each of them have their own feeling
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
And we're incredibly blessed to be given these things. I mean,
and one of the
what the hell?
and one of the things that's also really really cool about it is, Loki is probably considered a magical mythical character, yet there's all this huge sci-fi feel. So
Yes.
so it's a perfect melding of science fiction and what do you call it, mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if those people out there who are into like Lords of the Rings, like the Lords of the Rings with a mixture of technology, almost like a good example of that would be the old Visionaries cartoon back in the 80s. So the mixture of science and magic, which like they said, Thor said, magic is just another form of science. So
yep. Magic is just science we have not yet figured out.
Right.
I don't remember who said that, which writer said that, but I know that's one of my favorite sayings.
I'm doing a little research on kind of magic systems right now for writing and stuff, and the kind of the latest take on magic systems is to kind of base it somewhat in alchemy or science or mathematics or something of that sort, to kind of ground it a little bit and make it a little bit little bit more interesting. So it's
like Full Metal Alchemist.
Exactly like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's a interesting take on that subject.
That's a really good take on that subject.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you guys want to add to this deal besides let's get it on? Let's have another episode.
Let's have another episode.
Let's have another episode.
Let's have another episode.
Oh, they're piecing them out, and we got 3 more. We got 4 episodes.
We have 4 more to go.
4 more, and then right after that, we get our Black Widow movie.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I mean maybe kind of in the middle of that. Actually, what is it? July? Okay, maybe it is afterwards.
It's right after that. I think it's going to be like a week or 2 weeks right after that, after the final Loki episode airs. And I want to know how this affects that, because we're going to get our first post end credit in that movie and I really want to know what that post end credit is going to be.
We've seen. Sorry.
You're okay. Go ahead.
We have seen in the Loki trailers. We saw Loki there with Black Widow at one point. So
is that Black Widow though? Is that a swerve?
It could be a swerve. It could be her.
That's kind of what I want to say is that we're there for the longest time. Like since the early 2000s, like in Star Trek, they did not do anything after what was the one where they went off to the other quadrant and
Voyager.
We never got anything after Voyager. Everything, they started going back to the past. They started going back to the original series, or they went to like Enterprise.
Enterprise before the original series.
Right.
And then Discovery, which is kind of contemporary with the original series.
Which was still kind of, and we're going to get
Discovery's bouncing, because I think the last season of Discovery we were way far ahead in the future after Voyager.
I mean, we got the reason why I mentioned that is because they eventually broke the seal on that with Voyager. No, with Discovery.
Yeah,
it is set in after the year 3000, so that's like insanely in the future. But we finally got what we were asking for with Picard, because Picard is set, after the events of all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And it's an interesting world that they have, after all that. They finally decided to get to it. We're very much in that sort of thing right now. We got a little taste of the post-snap world in some of these series, particularly in the WandaVision. I guess Falcon and Winter Soldier.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier too, yeah.
Post snap.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of it in Spider-Man, but we haven't gotten the big what's going to happen next thing yet. We are in Loki. We're in, like you said, like right after the original Avengers movie.
Right.
That's the time. I mean, they could literally be in any time, but the current storyline is set right there, and Black Widow is set sometime in the past.
Yeah.
Like a previous adventure and stuff. So we're still kind of backpedaling a little bit.
And I think Black Widow takes place after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or
how's that possible?
Or no, I mean, excuse me. Excuse me. I didn't mean that. I meant the Winter Soldier, just the Winter Soldier, Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I think it covers what Natasha was doing when Steve and Sam go after Bucky.
Yeah. I think it takes place between that and Captain America Civil War.
It's going to be interesting to see how Black Widow rolls into this, because I have to think that it's not just here's what happened in the past. I mean, obviously they're introducing a new Black Widow, which is her sister. So that may be the only purpose, and we finally get a Black Widow movie. But I also think that there's a reason why they kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And it has to come out right now. Isn't that possible? I don't know.
It would make sense, and it sounds like the misdirection we're used to from Marvel at this point.
Oh, and let's not forget we've got the Shang-Chi movie coming out, because they've shown some flashbacks, historical flashbacks in the trailer for that. We don't know what effect that has. Some big battle for the 10 Rings. And then we have the Eternals. So we know how that covers a large span of time. There's no telling what effects this has on that movie as well. Because
I mean, I have no grasp of what the Eternals is going to do.
Right.
Whether it's going to be kind of locked into its own thing, or whether it's going to blow every dumb thing open. I have no idea. I have no idea.
And my final thought on what we might be seeing is I want to know the location of the TVA. Where is it that they're located?
Yes, exactly.
Because the Avengers had to travel through the quantum realm to travel in time, but you can also, via the quantum realm, hit the multiverse. If you don't know how to traverse the quantum realm, you can end up in an alternate universe.
Well, and remember, Wasp's mother, she was stuck in the quantum realm. So we know people can survive and live in the quantum realm as well.
Exactly. Too bad the Micronauts are no longer a Marvel property.
Don't get me started on
that'd be awesome. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
I love those characters so much.
Yeah. Too bad they're not a property of Marvel. But,
Bug, who has shown up in some stuff, and maybe another character or two.
Because I think Bug was created by Marvel, but was never a toy.
No Micronaut figure. There was never a Bug figure.
But if you're a Micronauts fan, don't fret. They're part of the Hasbroverse. So
there you go, Hasbroverse.
Hasbroverse, I love it.
Beth, tell us a little bit about how people can find out more. You're not ready to make an announcement here, are you?
Yeah, we can. Why not? I've got it up on the website with coming soon.
Well,
I am in the process of planning out another podcast for your enjoyment through Taskforce Geek. It will be known as the Book Crew. I will be talking with authors, other indie authors like myself, anyone who writes, and looking at possibly throwing up some tutorials to help you write your next novel or your next comic book or short story. So keep an eye out for that. It's in the works.
I think that's pretty exciting. We need to update your thing here. I've got Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray.
Yeah, you just need to put the Amazon one on there.
All right, I'll get the new one on there next time. I don't usually look at these things. What I do is I set these things up and I start worrying about the next dumb thing I'm going to put on there.
That's all right. It's all good, Dirk. It's all good.
Everything that you need to find is right there at bethandfreely.com.
just come visit my website. You can get to my books. You can get to the Spoiler Alert podcast on there as well. You know, other podcasts that I'm involved in, author interviews. Yeah, and my blog. So come find me over there.
Good stuff.
Oh,
I'm
and
excited about the book thing. I mean,
I'm excited
that's a
too.
whole different. That's a whole different,
whole different
area
geeky side.
that
Yeah.
we can get people involved in, and hopefully, rope in a new crowd. And again, I was talking to you guys about this earlier. Give some people a platform. Hey,
Mhm.
by the way, if you look, if you're doing geeky stuff, if you're writer, artist,
Come talk to us.
author, whatever you got, I mean, we'll do an interview with you, or we'll put you on the main show.
You got a TV show that you're going to be in?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
You know?
you're
Yeah.
an actor, or
Yeah,
whatever.
actor.
I mean, as long as you can justify its geeky bona fides, then that will be sufficient. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Walt here.
You can catch me on Facebook at What Walter Cons, at whatstudioart.blogspot.com. You can catch me at twitch.tv gatchaman_1, and you can catch me at on Zazzle at the What Studio Art store. If you just type that in, you can find some of the things that I've made for T-shirts and whatnot. Also, if you'd like me to do, my big thing right now is doing pet portraits. I'm being inundated with those requests. You can contact me at the What Walter Cons Facebook page for that. So, and I'm in the middle of doing one now of somebody's horse. So check it out.
Walt gave me the nod on his deal for connecting people with the the pet portrait thing, and I tried it too, and it was fabulously successful. I did a little painting of a dog of a friend of mine, and I put it up there, and I had 4 or 5 hard hits before the place took it down, because I guess they're concerned about it being like
a business
ad or something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to kind of relook at that, but I mean, it's a local thing, so I'm not reaching out to people in San Diego or Mars. It's just people who are in my city and close. But I mean, it works. I mean, people went nuts because I did a painting of someone's dog, and they're like, "Oh my God!" What one family said that they wanted the entire they wanted both of them in the couple in a painting along with their 3 dogs.
There you go.
Wanted.
Yeah.
They
Nice.
wanted like the entire family in one piece and stuff. And so anyway, that's definitely an interesting market in there. And I love animals.
So do I.
Yep.
Who doesn't? Animals
That's
are
pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah, anybody who doesn't like animals, that we can't be friends.
Yeah.
I'm worried about people that don't like
Right.
don't have some affinity
There's
for
a problem
animals,
with that.
even if
Yeah.
it's just their own animals.
Yeah.
They don't like anyone else's animals. I don't know. Yeah, I worry about that. So there's my stuff. If you didn't catch me on Taskforce Geek on Tuesday, I might as well make the announcement that in my other multiverse, not this one where you can find me at the links that you have here in my other life, I got contacted by a Japanese leather company to do a couple of illustrations for packaging designs for that company. This is a big deal for me. I left the illustration business 25 years ago because I couldn't get a thing like this, and this landed in my lap. They came to me. They say, I went to your website, really liked your artwork. We want you to do this thing for us. If this goes off well, not only do I get the work that I've done right here, but I may be doing designs for other packages, and they have an extensive line, so they could keep me busy. But in addition to that, it's not a company that is based in Japan, but they have their stuff is in America and in Europe and all over the place. So my artwork, therefore, would be all over the place as well, which is a
Woohoo!
huge deal.
International.
International, yes.
Yeah. So, that's a big, it's not, look, I'm not getting paid enough money to, to really truly celebrate and say that I'm 100%, free of the man or whatever. But,
And we all know who the man is.
but
Yeah,
it's,
don't we?
it's possible to, it's a big moment for me because it's a corporate deal that could lead to other stuff, and it's a great resume moment where I can say, hey, I did the work for these people for their stuff, and it will presumably lead to other stuff, I imagine. So anyway, as far as me being an artist, this last week was a big step forward. They've already paid me for it. It's not even, I wouldn't even mention it if that wasn't the case. But
Nice.
now it's in my lap. Now I have to produce the work.
Now you have to
Yep,
produce.
now you got to produce.
But if they paid for it, it's a done deal. So
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to make that announcement. That's a big deal for me. If you're interested, please go to rankingstudios.com. You can see my stuff there. You can also see the stuff of Scott and Robert and Sean. Sean is working on a lot of logo stuff, and Walt and Sean. Walt mentioned something about Sean and him doing maybe something on logos. I don't know. You guys should talk about that.
We should talk about that.
Yeah.
For sure. So anyway, go to rankingstudios.com to see more of my artwork there, and I'm at Dirk Hooper Plus. I love to retweet everyone. Please go do that. Please, find me on there. And I'm also on LinkedIn at Dirk Hooper Plus. I'm at TikTok, which is insane. And I'm also on Facebook at Dirk Hooper Artworks. So check me out there. That's all the stuff. Does anyone have anything that they want to say before I wrap this up?
Let's get back together next week. Do this again.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Well, no, at our regular time.
Regular bat time, regular
Right,
bat
right,
channel.
At our regular bat.
I think 2 or 3 p.m. on
Thursday.
Not Thursday.
Central Time. We'll be talking about Loki episode 3, and it should be a interesting episode. I think, no matter what.
Yep.
All right.
Cool. All righty.
Well, hey, thanks to everyone who tuned in to us. We sure appreciate that. Please leave a like, share wherever you see this. We sure appreciate it. Thanks to Walt. Thanks to Beth.
Welcome.
Always a pleasure.
For those two cats, and for me, this is Dirk Hooper saying, Dream Hard.